My little guy got into a fight at kindergarten. And turns out the other parent was my ex. Just as fierce as her mother. He sneered coldly. Takes after his father. I shot back without backing down. John's face instantly darkened. Trying to be conciliatory, I added, "Don't worry. I wasn't talking about you." His complexion turned even stormier. Rushing to the preschool after the teacher's call. I fumed. It's only Timmy's third day at this new school and he's already causing trouble. Worse yet. He hit a girl. That kid's really asking for it this time. The scene in the principal's office showed Timmy standing stiffly with his chin jutting out like some martyr awaiting execution. I immediately launched into apologies. "So sorry. Our Timmy Brown always." My words died when the man by the desk looked up, revealing the achingly familiar handsome features I hadn't seen in years. John Wilson. Of all the ways to reunite with my college sweetheart. I never imagined it would involve our kids brawling. The lanky boy from memory had transformed into this broad-shouldered man radiating quiet authority, currently comforting a sniffling little girl perched on his hip. My heart stuttered. His daughter? Mrs. Brown. Thank goodness you're here. Teacher Lee's relief snapped me back to reality. Timmy pushed Sophia but refuses to apologize. We thought it best to have parents mediate. I kept bowing my head. Our deepest apologies. We'll discipline him properly. Turning to my son, I adopted my sternest mom voice, Timmy Brown. What did mommy teach you about respecting others? Especially girls? Boys should protect classmates, not hurt them. Timmy twisted away, muttering. She tried drinking from my special cup. The one you gave me. His raised voice triggered fresh tears from the pink-cheeked angel in John's arms. The deep voice I'd once loved rumbled with frost, just as fierce as her mother. Excuse me? After years apart. This is how you greet me? White-hot anger surged as I retorted. Takes after his father. John's face went sheet white. The temperature in the room plummeted. Teacher Lee's eyes darted between us like she was watching a tennis match, belatedly remembering we were supposed to resolve a children's dispute, not rehash old grudges. I forced calm. Relax. I wasn't referring to you. His jaw muscle twitched violently. Honestly. Still as impossible as ever. But since Timmy was clearly in the wrong, I pressed his shoulders. No excuses for pushing. Apologize now. After dramatic pouting, Timmy mumbled, "Sorry." The girl named Sophia peeked over John's shoulder with dewy lashes. Sakai. Noticing her lingering gaze on Timmy's astronaut-themed water bottle. Understanding dawned. Sophia, honey. Did you like Timmy's cup? Her shy nod melted my frustration. Those big Wilson family eyes could soften stone. The green dinosaur on this cup was drawn by me. A custom design just for Timmy. Unexpectedly, little Sophia took a liking to it at first sight. How about I get you another one just like this tomorrow? Her eyes brightened momentarily before she hesitated, shaking her head. But Daddy said I shouldn't take things from people. It's just a cup, I quickly said. Timmy made you cry. So consider this cup as an apology from both him and me. Okay? If you accept it, that means you still want to be Timmy's friend. She turned those pleading eyes toward John, who nodded his approval. The girl immediately beamed. Thank you, Emily. Children's moods shift like spring weather. Soon my little troublemaker and Sophia were rebuilding block towers together as if their quarrel never happened. John and I exited the classroom in silent tandem. Didn't realize you'd become so skilled at handling children. His calm observation floated over my shoulder. That didn't sound entirely complimentary. I turned to study his impassive expression. Practice makes passable. Not everyone can prioritize parenting while maintaining a demanding medical career like you, John. We'd been college contemporaries, him in medicine, me in linguistics. John had been the archetypal campus prince, affluent family, academic excellence. And those unfairly attractive bone structures that somehow translated to his daughter's cherubic features. Your daughter doesn't resemble you much, I heard myself say before thinking, watching the giggling girl across the playground. She's far more approachable. All soft curls and sunshine. None of her father's marble-carved reserve. John slid his hands into coat pockets. Takes after her mother. The words hit like swallowed ice. Suddenly desperate to escape this conversation, I made excuses to collect Timmy. Yet the uncomfortable tightness in my chest lingered through dinner and bath time, finally compelling me to text Olivia at midnight. Bet his wife's stunning. Olivia? You're the one who dumped him, remember? True enough. The whole campus had witnessed my year-long pursuit of the stoic med student. I'd been the human equivalent of neon lights in that relationship, all grand gestures and social media PDA. Turned out the brighter the sparkler, the faster it fizzles. Don't play victim here. Olivia's voice crackled through the phone when I tried deflecting. John literally traveled 23 hours through snowstorms after your breakup. Camped outside your dorm for a night in December. Who froze whom out? Fair point. Dating me probably qualified as natural disaster survival training. Ancient history. Why bring it up now? Says the woman currently obsessing over her ex's marriage. Mom? Timmy's whisper interrupted. His dinosaur pillow clutched to chest. Can I sleep here tonight? I raised an eyebrow at my 4-year-old big boy. Weren't you teaching Mr. Flopsy about bravery yesterday? Please? His wobbling lip could have won Oscars. Just till I get used to the new school. Ah. The universal kid loophole. I patted the mattress. Only if you promise no more wrestling classmates during snack time. His triumphant sprint shook the bed springs. As his breathing evened out against my shoulder, I stared at the ceiling, painfully aware that some heartaches outlast preschool phases by decades. Got it. Timmy placed his little pillow aside and spoke up with newfound courage. Mommy. I miss Daddy. My heart sank. Twisting his small hands together, he whispered, all my friends at preschool have daddies. I want a daddy too. Sophia asked me today what my daddy does. And so that was it. The water bottle had just been an excuse. This was the real source of his distress. I ruffled his hair. Remember what Mommy told you? Daddy's away on a long business trip. He needs to work hard to buy you dinosaur toys. He looked up pleadingly. Then I don't want dinosaurs anymore. Can I have Daddy instead? How about I give your dinosaur water bottle to Sophia tomorrow then? My little guy huffed. Then I want Sophia's daddy instead. 1. 2. Timmy immediately flopped onto his pillow. Eyes squeezed shut. Mommy! I'm already asleep. The next day, I gave Timmy the newly painted water bottle to bring to Sophia. That afternoon at pickup, I found John leaning against the school gate again. I bit back a groan. Don't surgeons have crazy schedules? Why does he always have time for school runs? I tried to slip by unnoticed, but Timmy and Sophia emerged hand in hand at the front of the line. Mommy! Over here! Timmy shouted, waving furiously. John turned, those sharp eyes locking onto me. Heh. Fancy meeting you again. I managed weakly. He nodded at Sophia's neck. Your work. It took me a moment to realize he meant the bubblegum pink Stegosaurus water bottle. Yep. Special edition. John examined it critically. Still drawing like a middle school art student. I see. What does that even mean? I later raged into the phone. I'm Emily. Award-winning comic artist. That man wouldn't know good art if it bit his perfect nose. Olivia chuckled. To be fair, his taste was always questionable. He did date you in college. Whose side are you on? I growled. After graduation, I'd bounced between jobs before my webcomic unexpectedly blew up. These days, my quirky parenting comics topped bestseller lists. Olivia sighed dramatically. Still, what are the odds? After that nuclear breakup. I never thought you'd share a zip code again. Now your kids are classmates? Tell me about it. This preschool better be worth the tuition. I spent weeks comparing facilities. Who knew the Wilsons would pick the same one? The autumn breeze carried Timmy's laughter as he chased Sophia across the playground. My fingers itched to sketch the scene, golden sunlight filtering through maple leaves. Two tiny figures weaving between slides. And one annoyingly attractive doctor watching from the shadows. John's gaze met mine across the yard. My traitorous heart skipped. Damn those unfairly long eyelashes. 15 years later. And he could still make me feel like that flustered art student again. I turned away sharply. This was precisely why I'd chosen the most expensive preschool in town, the one that promised organic snacks and 24/7 security. Not that it mattered when fate kept throwing John in my path. Sophia's delighted shriek echoed as Timmy pretended to be a T-Rex. I smiled despite myself. Maybe some stories needed new chapters. Or maybe I just needed stronger coffee. Either way, this complicated co-parenting tango was far from over. It's not a good time to transfer Timmy to another school now. We can't keep uprooting him for such reasons. Speaking of which, John seems really family-oriented, Olivia remarked. Emily, are you sure you don't regret it? I rolled my eyes and hung up, opening my drawing tablet. Why would I regret some guy who criticized my art skills? After working frenetically through the night until dawn, I finally shut my laptop and collapsed into bed. Waking up later, my phone was flooded with messages. My editor was practically weeping. Captain, you finally submitted the manuscript. I was about to camp outside your door if you missed this week's deadline. My comic pen name is Riverside Boat. As a chronic procrastinator who never submits early, this was unprecedented. I indulged in some humble bragging, couldn't help it, inspiration struck and I had to draw through the night. Truthfully, it was John's fault. His criticism lit a fire under me, making me channel my frustration into drawing until sunrise. The editor pressed their advantage, by the way. Silent Fish's book signing is set for the 12th next month at the Civic Library. You're available? Silent Fish is my breakout comic series that finally concluded 3 months ago after years of serialization. This would be our first official fan event. I'll be there. After handling work emails, I dragged myself up to make breakfast. Timmy Brown, rise and shine, the sun's roasting your butt. I tried prying my precious eldest from the blankets. If you don't get up now, my words died as icy dread gripped me. Timmy lay motionless, eyelids sealed, cheeks burning crimson, his forehead scorched under my palm. The thermometer read 103.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Frantically bundling him up, I hailed a cab to the hospital, clutching his feverish body during the ride. I alternated between begging the driver to hurry and cursing my own negligence. I'd been so absorbed in work last night that I'd missed his worsening condition. The pediatric ER overflowed with wailing children and harried parents. Sweating through my shirt, I navigated the chaos when a familiar voice cut through. Emily? Looking up, I saw John in his white coat, taller and more imposing than I remembered from his medical school days. 8 years ago during our split, he'd still been that gangly intern. Now Dr. Wilson? A nurse trailing him eyed me curiously over her mask. Friend of yours? John dismissed his team. Go ahead. I'll catch up. Approaching me, his voice retained that clinical calmness, like moonlight you could never grasp. Sick child? My fault, I blurted. He spiked this fever overnight and I didn't notice until. John pressed a hand to Timmy's forehead. Registered yet? At my head shake, he scooped up the boy. I'll take him. You handle admissions. Before I could protest, he'd already assumed control. Mistaking my stunned silence for anxiety, he softened his tone. He's in good hands. The flu has been really bad lately. He probably caught it. Don't worry too much. For some reason, his words instantly calmed my panicked nerves. It felt like, as long as he was here, Nothing could go wrong. Having an extra pair of hands made everything easier. After getting registered and examined, the diagnosis confirmed influenza. When I returned with the medication, I saw John sitting with Timmy during his treatment. Relieved, I approached and thanked him sincerely. "Thank you for today." John looked up, his brow furrowing slightly. There was a suppressed edge to his voice. "Do you handle everything alone when your child gets sick? Where's his father?" My heart skipped a beat before Timmy chirped. "My daddy's on a business trip." I coughed awkwardly. "He's busy. Couldn't make it." John pressed his lips into a thin line, seemingly regretting the question. "I need to get back to my department." He turned away without another word. Settling next to Timmy, I felt his forehead. "Still feeling bad?" He shook his head, then nodded, before peering wistfully in John's direction. "Mommy? Can Uncle John be my daddy?" "No, sweetheart. Uncle John has his own family. He can't be your daddy." Timmy swung his little legs dejectedly. "But you wouldn't be so tired all the time if we had Uncle John." My throat tightened. I ruffled his hair. "Let it go, baby. He belongs to someone else now." The aggressive flu strain kept Timmy home for 3 days. Half his preschool class fell ill too. Just as he recovered, I caught it and dragged myself to the pharmacy. In the hallway, I unexpectedly encountered Sophia and her mother. The pale girl perked up upon seeing me. "Aunt Emily." Her mother turned, recognition dawning. "You must be Timmy's mom." "I'm Sophia's mother. She absolutely adores the water bottle you gave her." She had Sophia's same delicate features and infectious smile. Their resemblance was striking. Flustered, I stammered, "And nice to meet you." Sophia glanced around. "Is Timmy better yet, Aunt Emily?" "He'll be back Monday." "How about you?" "Her fever broke," her mother answered. "We're just watching for rebounds." After they left, I realized something odd. Where was John during his own family's hospital visit? A woman's honeyed voice answered from behind me. "Dr. Wilson, you've been in surgery all morning. I brought homemade lunch if you want to." I spun around to see John in scrubs, being approached by that same curvaceous nurse from before, the one who'd asked if I knew him. Her eyelashes fluttered like butterfly wings. My jaw dropped. "Holy shit. John Wilson. Are you even human? Your wife Emily's taking care of your sick child while you're openly flirting with nurses here?" Suddenly John seemed to sense something and looked up. "Not necessary." He dismissed someone before walking toward me. "Why are you at the hospital again?" His brow furrowed slightly when he noticed I came alone. "Are you unwell?" I glared at him, sarcasm dripping from my voice. "Oh, I'm doing much better than single mothers juggling sick kids." John glanced at me, clearly confused. Behind him, the young nurse kept stealing looks our way. I deliberately raised my voice. "I just saw Sophia and her mom." "You spoke with them?" John looked genuinely surprised. "Briefly." I smirked. "Though not as thoroughly as you converse with everyone here." John pinched the bridge of his nose. "There's a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" I scoffed. My eyes work perfectly fine. I saw that mother struggling with her sick kid, and I definitely saw that nurse batting her eyelashes at you. No wonder they say medical students end up marrying 3 times, a college sweetheart, a colleague, and enough. John cut me off irritably. "Where do you even hear these absurd rumors?" "Here? I witnessed it firsthand. Don't pretend you don't know what it means when someone brings you homemade meals." John Wilson. His lips suddenly twitched with suppressed amusement. "Oh, I'm quite familiar with the concept. This isn't my first rodeo." Heat flooded my cheeks. Damn it! This brought back memories of my own desperate attempts during med school, accidentally bumping into him at the cafeteria. then progressing to charred eggplant dishes that could have been classified as biohazards. A nurse urgently called out, "Dr. Wilson? Bed 8 needs immediate attention." John's demeanor shifted instantly. "Call me if you need anything." "Same number." He strode away, white coat billowing. I stared at his retreating figure with conflicting emotions. Why did I even care? It's not like we're at the lab. I overheard nurses gossiping. "Did you see? Jessica got rejected by Dr. Wilson again. How many times is that? I don't get it. She's gorgeous. Comes from a good family. Crazy about him." "Excuse me," I blurted without thinking. "Are you talking about John Wilson?" The nurse nodded. "You know him?" "Sort of. This person pursuing him." The other nurse grinned knowingly. "Oh. Joining our hospital's favorite pastime of chasing Dr. Iceberg? What's wrong with modern men?" Her colleague lamented. "That man's allergic to relationships. All he cares about is work." I stood frozen outside the hospital doors, mind reeling. John Wilson never got married? How is this possible? I saw him pick up the child from kindergarten with my own eyes. The moment I pushed open the door upon returning home, my dear son came rushing over. "Mommy." I lifted him up and scrutinized him from head to toe. Timmy looked bewildered. "What's wrong, Mom?" I probed casually. "Nothing. I just ran into Sophia and her mom at the hospital today." Timmy immediately perked up. "She went to the hospital too? Was she sick?" I shot him a glance. This kid sure gets concerned about Sophia being ill. Her mother said she's almost recovered. You'll probably see her when school starts next Monday. Only then did Timmy relax. Though he couldn't help adding, "She must have felt awful being sick." I deliberately remarked, "Her parents will take good care of her. No need to worry." Timmy shook his head, "But she told me before that her dad was sick too." A suspicion began forming in my mind, though I hardly dared believe it. Her father was sick. Yeah. That's why Mr. Wilson has been picking her up lately. Timmy suddenly covered his mouth. "But Sophia secretly told me she likes when Uncle John comes instead because he's way handsomer than her dad." My mind went completely blank. So, that wasn't John's daughter. He's neither married nor has children. Had I misunderstood everything this whole time? Then just go ask him directly, Olivia said exasperatedly. "What's the point of guessing by yourself?" I refused. "That's inappropriate. What right do I have to ask him now?" Olivia shrugged. "Ex-girlfriend status?" I glared. "It won't kill you to ask." "Yes. It would. The embarrassment alone would finish me." "Stop pushing. I'm absolutely not going. You're supposed to be on my side. Which is exactly why I'm pushing you to ask." Olivia sighed suddenly. "Emily, you still have feelings for him." My throat tightened. She continued gently, "He's single now too. Why not give each other another chance?" After a long silence, I whispered, "Olivia, I have Timmy." When picking up Timmy on Monday, I saw John again. Our eyes met. Was too busy to ask at the hospital the other day, "Are you feeling better now?" His tone was casually professional, like any doctor making small talk with a patient. "Just the flu. Nothing serious." He nodded, gaze shifting toward the kindergarten entrance as we waited for the children. "I always thought doctors were extremely busy." I blurted unexpectedly. "But seeing you personally pick up someone else's child every day makes me wonder if the rumors are exaggerated." The air froze. After a beat, John responded calmly, "Sophia isn't exactly someone else's child. She's my cousin's daughter. My cousin was in a car accident recently, with her mother overwhelmed at work. I'm just helping out temporarily." I stared incredulously. "That's your entire explanation?" He met my shocked expression with raised eyebrows, as if he'd anticipated this reaction all along. "Come to think of it, I never actually said she was my daughter. Did I? The word stuck in my throat like a physical obstruction. Damn. He was right. I jumped to conclusions from the start, assuming John was Sophia's father without ever bothering to confirm. Then why didn't you correct me when I said Sophia didn't look like you? Isn't it perfectly normal for her not to resemble me if she's not my child? John answered with infuriating logic, completely missing the point. Besides, I did mention she takes after her mother. I glared at the kindergarten gates, arms crossed tightly. The moment Timmy emerged, we were leaving. This conversation was over. John's casual tone cut through my fuming silence. Sophia mentioned Timmy's 5th birthday is next Wednesday? My heart lurched violently. His gaze weighed heavy on me. That piercing intensity that always made me feel transparent. Which would mean he was born in November 5 years ago. We broke up that December. And yet we were still together in September. Emily. Did this child fall from the heavens? The classroom windows blurred as my pulse thundered. None of your business. Sophia told me Timmy confided that his father's been away on business since birth. That boy's never had a dad, just you. John's voice softened with dangerous certainty. Emily. Timmy isn't yours. I inhaled sharply. The playground asphalt swimming beneath my feet. Are you done? When he remained silent, I forced steel into my voice. You've always been brilliant, John. But this? It's not your concern. We've been over for 5 years. You have your life. I have mine. Why can't we leave it at that? The old breakup lines tasted like ash. I'd been the one to walk away, citing boredom when the truth was far more complicated. Fresh out of college juggling work while he pursued his medical residency, the distance had become unbearable. Or so I'd claimed. Yesterday's conversation with Sophia's mother echoed in my ears. Her ex-husband's minor injury had healed weeks ago. Yet here John stood, playing substitute dad. My throat tightened. John. I whispered. You could have anyone. Why waste time on someone like me? The following days brought empty space where John's car used to idle. Relief wore with phantom ache until Olivia jabbed her cocktail straw at the bookstore across the street. Let me get this straight, you turned down John Wilson? Again? My literary agent nearly spilled her margarita. Girl. You're made of sterner stuff than your manga protagonists. I stabbed viciously at my salad. Leading him on would have been cruel. Speaking of cruel, Olivia checked her diamond-encrusted watch. Your signing starts in 20. Don't worry. I'll fetch Timmy from soccer practice. Can't have our star graphic novelist late for her adoring fans. Since when did corporate drones develop such flawless brown-nosing skills? Years of surviving boardroom sharks. Darling, oh. Olivia's manicured finger froze mid-air. Isn't that? My fork clattered against the plate. Through the bistro's smoky glass, John stood examining bookstore displays. Sunlight catching gold in his hair. My traitorous heart stuttered as he turned, our eyes meeting across 3 lanes of midday traffic. The world narrowed to his slow, deliberate approach, that same determined stride from our college days when he chased me across campus to return forgotten notebooks. My palms slickened against the linen napkin. Olivia's whisper cut through the buzzing in my ears. Abort mission? Fake food poisoning? I've got hot sauce in my purse. Mom. Timmy's voice shattered the moment. My head whipped around to see Olivia's assistant ushering my son through the door. Soccer cleats clacking loudly. The boy's eyes lit up as they landed on me, then widened at the figure now standing mere feet from our table. Dr. John. Timmy wriggled free, launching himself at John's legs. You came to Mom's book thing too? John's startled gaze met mine over the child's head. Sophia's words about Timmy's missing father suddenly took on new, terrifying dimensions. My coffee cup trembled as reality tilted, 5 years of carefully constructed lies crumbling beneath Timmy's innocent grin. I turned around and sure enough, a man and a woman walked in. The man was none other than John, while the woman appeared to be in her 20s. gentle and delicate looking. Led by the server. They moved further inside when John suddenly glanced in our direction. I quickly lowered my head. Olivia hastily turned her face away too, covering her face as she whispered, "Is that really him? Who's the woman with him? How should I know?" I muttered. Olivia looked puzzled. "If you don't know, why are you acting so guilty?" I shot her a death glare. But she remained oblivious. Sneaking another peek. Damn. That man's gotten even hotter than a few years ago. Shut up. Was she trying to rub salt in my wounds? Fortunately, John didn't notice us and soon took his seat behind the partition. As long as he didn't turn around for a closer look, we'd remain hidden. Forcing myself to look away, I urged Olivia, "Eat up. We're leaving." "Why the rush?" she protested. "I want to eavesdrop." I resumed picking at my dessert, stabbing the bunny-shaped mochi's head with my fork while unintentionally tuning into their conversation. They were exchanging basic information about themselves. Oh, a blind date. Of course, someone like John would be prime material on the dating scene. Dr. Wilson. Someone as accomplished as you must have many admirers. The woman ventured after their initial exchange. There was a slight pause before John responded. "Not exactly. There's this girl who can't stand me." "What? Who?" The woman sounded genuinely shocked. "How could anyone be so blind?" "The one I like," John replied evenly. My fork froze mid-air. Was I getting dragged into this? The woman clearly needed a moment to process this. "But, why wouldn't she return your feelings?" John's voice carried a hint of wry amusement. "Maybe I'm still not good enough. Just can't seem to win her over." I abruptly stood up to pay the bill, nearly knocking over my chair. Olivia scrambled after me, panting. "What's the emergency?" "Just remembered I have last-minute preparations for tomorrow's book signing." I lied. "Your excuse game remains unmatched." Olivia snorted. "Back home." Sleep evaded me. John's words kept replaying in my mind. Timmy noticed me tossing and turning, crawling closer to ask softly, "Mom, does your leg hurt again?" I kissed his cheek. "No, sweetheart. Mommy's just busy tomorrow. Aunt Olivia will pick you up. Okay?" "Okay." He planted a sloppy kiss on my nose. The next morning's book signing venue buzzed with energy. Massive banners of my comic series Ocean Whispers flanked the display tables stacked with merchandise. Fans had started queuing hours early, the lines snaking through the convention hall. My throat tightened seeing the crowd, though I'd known my comics were popular. Witnessing the sea of readers still felt surreal. What began as a hobby had not only become my livelihood but connected me with so many amazing people. As the host warmed up the crowd, staff ushered me backstage. Cheers erupted when I appeared, mostly from young women, their excitement palpable. "Chwanda! Oh my God! She's real! She's actually real! Holy crap! The author's this gorgeous? That maxi dress is everything. I'm done for. I'm done for. How can someone be so talented and look this good? Emily! I've been a huge fan of yours for so long. Wah!" I smiled and waved at everyone before sitting down to start signing. Time flew by quickly. After a quick lunch break, I had another interview scheduled at 3 in the afternoon. The venue remained packed with fans throughout the day. By the time everything wrapped up, it was already past 4. I bowed to thank the crowd, many lingering fans reluctant to leave, some hoping for group photos. When staff members moved to intercept them, I shook my head. They came all this way. A few pictures won't hurt. The chaos escalated unexpectedly as I lost my balance amidst the commotion, crashing painfully to the floor. My heart lurched as I instinctively grabbed at my skirt. A startled gasp echoed nearby, "Ah!" and I froze. Turning sideways, I saw it, the lower half of my prosthetic right leg now exposed under the flashing cameras. The event ended in disarray. At the hospital, my editor kept apologizing. "We failed you completely with our poor planning." I reassured them. This was my choice to appear publicly. We all knew this might happen eventually. Viral videos were already spreading online. I closed my phone after one glance. Olivia called immediately. "Emily, what the hell happened?" "Just a minor incident," I soothed. "Is Timmy with you?" "I picked him up from school." "Which hospital?" "Don't. He'll worry if he sees me like this. Tell him I'm working late." A nurse peeked into my room. Starstruck. "You're Emily, right? I love your graphic novels." Her gaze dropped to my leg, pity coloring her voice. "I never imagined. But don't worry. We admire your strength and—" John's crisp voice interrupted from the doorway. "Nurse Joan, the head nurse needs you." My spine stiffened as he entered, commandeering the medical supplies. "I'll handle this." The nurse hesitated. "But Dr. Wilson, you're off. My shift ended 20 minutes ago." His glacial tone brooked no argument. "This is personal time." Silence. Yet John didn't seem to realize the implications of his words as he knelt before me, slender fingers brushing against the hem of my skirt. Without looking up, he ordered, "Remember to close the door on your way out." The nurse left reluctantly, leaving the hospital room in suffocating stillness. When John reached to lift my skirt, I instinctively grabbed his wrist, then jerked back as if burned. "Maybe we should call a nurse," I whispered. "They're all busy," he replied evenly. I glanced away, irritation bubbling beneath my ribs. "One literally just left because of you." "Fine. Do it then." 10 minutes earlier, I'd feared him seeing me like this. Now, watching his stubborn posture as he refused to budge, perverse satisfaction rose in my throat. Let him see. Let the hideous truth end this once and for all. My right leg ended at the knee, the prosthetic attachment point raw from today's activities. The fall during group photos had undoubtedly worsened the angry abrasions. John's breathing seemed suspended until his cool fingertips grazed the inflamed skin. He worked with meticulous care, dark hair veiling his expression. Only the tense line of his lips betrayed him. This calm was volcanic, the dangerous stillness before magma consumes everything. "I thought you specialized in cardiology." I broke the silence, swinging my intact leg nervously. "Remember how I used to complain you spent more time at the hospital than with me? Never imagined your first consultation for me would be—" My forced chuckle died as he suddenly met my gaze. "When did this happen?" "Years ago." I reached for my prosthetic. "I'll handle it." His knuckles whitened against the wheelchair. 5 years? When we broke up. The clock ticked louder. "I don't recall." "Don't recall?" John's humorless laugh scraped like gravel. "Emily, people might forget many things, but never their own agony." My temple throbbed. "Tell me." His voice fractured. "Didn't it hurt?" I looked away. Outside the window, dusk had fallen as the sunset dipped below the horizon, casting bleak shadows across the sky. The surgery was successful and recovery's going well. I shook my head. "It doesn't hurt much." He remained silent. After hesitating, I gently urged, "Timmy is waiting for me at home. I should get back." John refused to let me handle it myself, insisting on helping me attach my prosthetic. "Thank you," I said, waving at him. "I'll head out now." Instead, John handed me his phone. "GPS. I'm driving you." In the end, I couldn't win against John. First, he's notoriously stubborn. Second, my leg really wasn't cooperating today. When I went to Olivia's house to pick up my son, the little guy immediately tried to hug me. His eyes rounded when he spotted John in the car. "Uncle John, You brought Mommy home? John displayed rare patience. Explaining. Uncle John had business nearby and gave your mom a ride. Oh. My son's eyes darted mischievously as he suddenly refused to get in. Mommy. Maybe I should sleep over at Aunt Olivia's tonight? I shot him a questioning look. He frantically winked at me, whispering urgently. Come on, Mommy. Work harder to make Uncle John my daddy. Good news, my genius son figured everything out. Bad news, my genius son started father shopping on his own. I hauled him into the car. Enough with the crazy ideas. He pouted, clearly wanting to argue further. But I silenced him with a look. After we finally arrived home, I hurriedly got out with my son. Thanks for today, I told John. He simply gazed at me before saying, don't mention it. We scrambled inside like escaped convicts. Olivia bombarded my phone. Holy crap. John drove you? Does he know? What do you think? I sighed. Checking online where trending hashtags about me still dominated. Popular comic artist revealed as amputee, clickbait gold. My publisher was damage controlling. But gossip spreads faster than wildfire. Olivia faltered. So, you and him, now he knows. Saves me from false hopes. After a long pause, she whispered, Emily, have you actually asked John if he wants to be with you? How? Ask if he'll take on a liability? I laughed bitterly. It took me years to accept myself. How could John? Finally, Olivia murmured. I really think John's different. If you miss this chance. I know. That's exactly why I can't let him ruin his perfect life with my imperfections. I thought that would end things. Yet next morning, John appeared at my doorstep. Our hospital's top specialist in this field. I scheduled your consultation. I gaped. But I'm fine. I'd been religious about rehab. Yesterday was a fluke. John held my car door open, immovable as granite. With Timmy's preschool run pending, I surrendered. The specialist John recommended was indeed impressive. He gave me a lot of advice and even offered to customize a better prosthetic for me. I was genuinely pleased, though it would have been even better without John hovering around. Once we stepped out, I couldn't help muttering, I told you these consultations are all pretty much the same. John pretended not to hear. Make sure to rest properly and follow the exercise and rehabilitation regimen the doctor prescribed, he said with utmost seriousness, clearly having absorbed every word from the specialist. I opened my mouth to protest, but he cut me off decisively. And if anything comes up, call me immediately. John, I finally burst out. You really don't need to do this. I know my own body best. Haven't I been perfectly fine these past few years? There's absolutely no need. I'll get your medication. John interrupted, turning away as if unwilling to hear the rest. Left with no choice, I sat obediently in the hallway. But when he didn't return after quite some time, I got up and headed toward the pharmacy. Rounding the corner, I overheard an agitated female voice, John, why are you putting yourself through this? I froze. It was Zhang Yan. John's voice was ice cold. If there's nothing else, I need to go. She's waiting for me. Zhang Yan seemed provoked, her voice rising sharply. But she's a cripple. John, do you have any idea what that means? She's not worthy of you. John's tone dropped to Arctic levels, carrying a frostiness I'd never heard before. Don't ever let me hear that word again, or you'll regret it. Zhang Yan fell silent. Footsteps approached, John walking away. Behind him came the faint sound of her choked sobs. As he drew nearer, I panicked and tried to hide. But before I could move, John rounded the corner and saw me. Our eyes met. He paused momentarily before striding over. I told you to wait there, he said, though his sternness couldn't hide the concern in his eyes. I glanced past him. She was crying? John's expression remained frosty. I tugged gently at his sleeve. What she said, it's true though. Over the years, I'd heard countless similar comments and endured endless pitying stares. I'd long since grown accustomed to it. John studied me intently. You're so compassionate towards strangers, he said quietly. Why are you only harsh with me? His words left me speechless. The man rarely spoke, but when he did, each syllable struck like a precision-guided missile. Though unsure what exactly I'd done wrong, I found myself inexplicably guilty, surrendering to let John take charge. Give an inch, take a mile. John began appearing constantly in my life, driving me to medical appointments, picking up Timmy from school. It all felt so natural, as if those years of separation had never existed. Yet, I knew this couldn't continue. The longer this went on, the more addicted I became to his care. When I saw him waiting downstairs again, I steeled myself. John, this ends now. John ignored me completely. Timmy's birthday is today. The bakery will close if we're late, he said calmly. My eyes widened in horror. Between managing fan communications and adjusting to my new prosthetic, I'd completely forgotten. Humiliated, I got into the car. Fine. I'd confront John after Timmy's birthday. Timmy had the most wonderful birthday. He insisted we take family photos with John. I'll show Sophia tomorrow, he declared excitedly. Of course. Even on his special day, his thoughts never strayed far from Sophia. I glanced at the group photo and quickly looked away. Turning to John. It's late. You should head home too. Let me walk you out. John understood and walked out with me. The elevator ride was suffocatingly silent. When we emerged, the late autumn breeze finally gave me courage. John, thank you for everything these past few months. But after tomorrow, let's stop contacting each other. Instead of answering, he asked, when do you plan to take Timmy back to see his parents? My heart clenched. So he knew. Timmy was my brother's child. 5 years ago that December, my brother and sister-in-law were returning with 1-month-old Timmy for his celebration dinner when their car crashed. I'd been in that vehicle too. My sister-in-law died instantly shielding Timmy. My brother succumbed to critical injuries at the hospital. My right leg was amputated. When I woke from surgery, I texted John a breakup message before even looking at my wounds. His missed calls and texts flooded my phone that night. I didn't read a single one. I knew one glimpse would break my resolve. Then I blocked him everywhere. Later I learned he'd taken a red-eye flight across 800 miles, waiting outside my apartment for 36 hours in the snow. Meanwhile, I'd been signing my brother's death certificate. The morgue's cold still haunts me, how my fingers shook too violently to hold the pen. How I couldn't even cry with my brother lying there. The trauma aged our parents rapidly. They passed within 3 years. Only Timmy and I remained. I became his mother. We left that grief-drenched city for a fresh start. Never did I imagine reuniting with John. John lit a cigarette as I finished recounting this. He didn't inhale. Just watched the ember glow between his fingers until wind scattered the ash. The burn finally reached his skin. You told me the surgery went well, he said, extinguishing the cigarette. Moonlight caught the storm in his eyes as his mouth curved without humor. That the recovery wasn't too painful. I froze. His whisper fractured the night. But Emily. It hurt. Sudden pressure crushed my chest. Through all the tragedy, I'd prided myself on staying strong. Yet now, hearing those words, I felt 5 years' worth of unshed tears burning behind my eyes. I'm sorry, I finally choked out, for leaving things unresolved back then. The apology felt decades too late. I'd thought cutting him loose was kindness. Never considered how that snowy vigil must have destroyed him. John closed his eyes. All these years, Emily, You think one apology erases everything? Confusion tangled my tongue. What? What else can I do? The silence stretched until I feared he'd walk away. When he spoke, his voice rasped like wind through dead leaves. His voice was hoarse with a hint of weariness. Yet every word came through crystal clear. Emily Brown. I'm almost 30. These years I've tried to forget you. Tried to love others. Attempted to be with girls completely different from you, but I can't. From 18 till now. Through all the breakups and reunions, it's been 10 years. I don't want to waste any more time. Will you marry me or not? Give me an answer. My eyes widened slowly, half convinced I was hallucinating. What did you say? John stepped forward, his tall frame instantly enveloping me. Emily, you still love me, don't you? I couldn't speak. I couldn't lie to his face. Emily still loved John, so much it hurt. But, before I could finish, he suddenly dipped his head and kissed me. The intense heat of his kiss overwhelmed me. I clutched his shirt, fingertips tingling numb. Only when my legs threatened to buckle did he finally anchor his arm around my waist, pressing me against his chest. Emily Brown, I'll forgive you once. Now I'm giving you another chance. His voice strained with gravelly tension. Promise me, when you're with John from now on, you'll come to him first with every problem. When you're hurting, you'll cry on his shoulder. You'll dump all your troubles on him to handle. Let him protect you and Timmy. Can you do that? Some people need only stand there to eclipse everything else. My heart quivered as I pressed against his chest, not daring to look up. But John, someone like me. Is this really okay? He cupped my face, forcing me to meet his gaze. Emily, you'll always be perfect to me. His palms burned, yet nothing compared to the torrent of love in his eyes. This time, will you keep loving him? I rose on tiptoes to kiss the corner of his mouth. John, Emily has only ever loved you. The love never ceased. Every reunion would find us rushing into each other's arms with wild abandon.